What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I hope y'all are having a wonderful day today. And with that, we're also going to be back on Dirt 3, so how can it not be a bad day, am I right? But with that, I did have a question though. What made Dirt 3 a good Dirt game? Now, the thing is, I gotta admit right now, I am going to give you guys a small backstory of what actually got me into Dirt 3, because back in the day, I never bought this game. So a small story time though, back in the day when I did end up getting Dirt 3, a friend in school did end up giving it to me as a gift, and the funny part is the reason why I did end up getting this game as a gift. This is probably going to sound really odd, but I did end up getting my finger broken by a classmate in school. Now, this was going to be back in middle school, so basically what happened is I was going to pick up a pencil on the floor, and the kid did end up stepping on my hand. With that, he pretty much ended up breaking my right ring finger on my finger, guys, basically the top of it where the nail is. I did end up having to get a surgery. I had a pin put in it, and the doctor also had to sew on the nail into the bed. Again, I know this might sound a little bit insane, but this is legit a true story. With that, though, I did end up getting a friend out of it because the kid that did end up breaking my finger, funnily enough, we did end up becoming pretty close friends, and he also did end up getting me Dirt 3 back then. So that was something that did end up introducing me into this game, because besides that, I was always playing Dirt 2. Did want to give you guys a small backstory, because the funny part is I never really bought Dirt 3 back in the day, and I was so into Dirt 2 that I never actually thought about playing this game. But I gotta admit though, playing this game again here in 2025 and kind of thinking back to those memories in school and stuff, I am really glad I played through Dirt 3, guys, because this game really is going to be so dang great, and I feel like it's still going to be a really good Dirt game, even if some of the things from Dirt 2 are not in this game. Now, I do mention this a lot, but that's going to be like some of the land rush classes are not going to be as big. I also do know in Dirt 4, we're going to have that tiny buggy and like the other trophy, like stadium truck and stuff. So it is going to be very similar to this game. But y'all know what the funny part is? The more I've been playing through Dirt 3, like it really hasn't even been bothering me. I've been having so much fun in the Rallycross, the Trailblazer category. And also there is going to be the Rally Raid T1 type of class as well in this game, which I did not even realize. Then we're also going to have something like the Land Rush, but I've been having so much fun driving Rally and also Trailblazer, which in the background you guys are going to notice me driving a Hyundai race car. Did not even know this thing was in the game. When I first drove it, I was like, yo, this thing is crazy. Not only is it going to be insanely fast, it's going to handle very well, and also it's a Hyundai, bro. Hyundai made something like this, bro? Like, what? This thing was absolutely insane. I loved it. It was so dang quick. Did like 120 something miles an hour, which is funny because you'd be like 120 miles an hour. That's not fast blocked. Well, in this game, when you're doing 120 in the dirt, man, it does feel really great. And you're definitely scooting along. So if you mess up or fly off the road, yeah, you're going to be one with the road. And guess what? Better hit that replay button because you're probably going to need it. With that being said, though, I do feel like they really hit a lot of great points with Dirt 3. And guys, I do understand that we're probably not going to have another Dirt game because I don't even think Codemasters is working on Dirt at all at this point. But man, it would be so dang amazing to see another Dirt game come back. And all it has to do, go back to Dirt 1 through 3. I haven't gotten Dirt Showdown yet. I'm still looking for a copy of that game. Do stay tuned for videos on it once I can finally get one. But I feel like if they take the good from these games, though, and pretty much put all of them together, you know, kind of like a good Need for Speed game, go back into each game, see what players like about each one, and then boom, bro, you got yourself a good game there. But the thing is, I do feel like if Dirt did actually do that, we'd have a really great game, which is going to be Dirt 6. Is it going to happen? I don't really see it. Dirt 5 tried to capture it, but honestly did fail. And I did end up playing through about 85% of Dirt 5, and I'm like, you know what, man, this is way before. I was like, I need to get a PS3 and go back and play all the old Dirt games. And so far, guys, I've been having more fun on Dirt 1 through 3 than I was on Dirt 5. I would say Dirt 4 was actually really fun. I did like it. That game was really heavily focused on Rally and Rallycross, but I feel like they did a great job on it, and the overall thing they were trying to capture in that game, I feel like it was actually going to be fun. With Dirt 3, though, I do feel like they were trying to do something different with this game compared to Dirt 2, and I feel like it did end up working. you guys are going to see different gameplay in the background of me driving Rallycross, Land Rush, and stuff like that. And I do gotta admit, going through each class and going through the campaign and stuff and doing the X Games and all that, it was really fun. I did also really enjoy the entire Gymkhana thing, which I did end up talking about in the previous video of what made Dirt 3 special. These events were going to be really cool. I also found one that was like a time trial type of thing, to where you basically started on a mountain, you had to go through, like, down it in like a Mini Cooper and get through it as fast as you possibly can. Personally, I was like, yo, this is actually pretty dope, man. I wasn't really expecting it to be like an entire event because I haven't encountered it yet, but getting through each one, or like each season of the game, there's technically 4, I believe it is, and in this it was going to be the third one that was going to be the X Games. I do find it fun how they throw in different events like this. You might end up being in something like the X Games and seeing an event like this where it's like a time trial type of thing, or you might end up having like a rallycross race, then like a land rush race. Then you're also then going to have like entire Gymkhana thing where you got to beat the other score. You're then going to have like a time trial type of Gymkhana to where you start and there's going to be objectives you have to follow and hit. Sometimes it'd be like 7 of them or like 11 of them or something like that. You do them all, get to the end, and boom, that is going to be completed. I did find it cool how they were trying to do something different with this game with that, and it kind of added on to it. Then you throw in like the rally and the different environments, and it really was going to be a great overall Dirt experience that I think many players would honestly love. For me, though, one of the easiest ways I could probably sum all this up, though, is if you are going to be into the Dirt series and you have been playing through them, you haven't played through Dirt 3 yet, honestly, guys, just go and play. You are not going to regret it. The game is going to be a very fun experience. I personally do love the different environments. The vehicle classes are going to be very fun. If you're going to be in a rally, if you like driving in cockpit view and stuff, it is all going to be there for your liking. On top of it, you're also going to experience different cars and stuff. At first, one thing I was laughing about is I did not realize, I kind of thought it was just one car with like 10 different liveries, which in that case, there is going to be there is going to be other cars in the game as well, obviously. It isn't going to be the same car. The one thing I honestly wish about Dirt 3, though, is I really wish there was a way I can get the DLCs without having to go and, well, find a gold edition or an ultimate edition of the game somewhere, which is probably going to be very difficult to find one of those. And currently in the PlayStation Store, there is no way to actually buy the updates or like the DLCs for the game, which does make sense. I mean, the game is going to be, what, 14 years old, so it's probably going to be obvious that they're not in there anymore. But I really do wish there was a way to do that, because every time you log on to Dirt 3, it is going to say, oh, hello there, mister, would you like to buy the VIP pass? And I go, that's the thing, I have the code, but it won't work because it's old. So yeah, that's a bit unfortunate. But one thing I gotta admit is, even though you're not going to most likely have access to the DLCs on Dirt 3, you know what? There is so much content and stuff to do in the game. The overall single player part of it and the base game itself has a lot of content and things to enjoy, guys. I was having a wonderful time going through it, and it's probably going to be a good maybe 15-20 hours of content, maybe a bit more. I actually think I'm probably approaching about 15 plus hours, and I still haven't went through it all because I'm kind of taking my time. There's also going to be like mini challenges and stuff. There's going to be like a parking lot thing and different things you can do, and like depots and all that of different challenges. So there is going to be other things that are added on top of the base game itself. And I was honestly pretty impressed that this game even had DLCs to it, which is going to add on to even more content on the base game itself. Kind of funny how a lot of older games came out and were actually a base game that had a lot of things to do. Dirt 3 is a wonderful version of that. I gotta admit, guys, if you can get yourself a copy of this game, go and do it. It's going to be a really good Dirt game. I love it alongside Dirt 2 and Dirt 1. There's really nothing I don't like about it. I really do enjoy the different classes in the game. Rally racing for me is probably one of my favorite things about it, alongside Trailblazer. And I also have to say, though, alongside a Trailblazer and Rally, I'm also a big fan, or at least becoming a bigger fan, of the Gymkhana events. When I first started the game, man, I was miserably failing at these, but the more I play the game, I really do enjoy how they try to do it, and also the overall design of how you have to do tricks and different things to get points. I feel like they did a pretty dang good job with that, but that also made Dirt 3 special, and even a better Dirt game on top of it, because for me, they were basically giving, or like expanding something on the entire Dirt franchise, trying to do something different, and I feel like in ways it really did work. if you guys are struggling on the Gymkhana events, I was actually looking through different forums and stuff online, and I was noticing players having some issues with them and stuff. So if you are struggling, take it from me, keep practicing and stuff. You will get better at them. They are going to be a learning curve, and with that's going to make Dirt even more fun. I am curious to know what y'all think about this in the comments below. What do you guys think made Dirt 3 a good Dirt game? Can't wait to see the comments, and I'm probably going to keep playing this game even though I've done most of the stuff in it, because the overall gameplay is so dang great and really does make me kind of wonder about newer games because, yo, I'm going back in and playing PS3 games. I'm having a wonderful time on them. I might probably go through Dirt 3, then Dirt 2, and then Dirt 1, and I really do need to find myself a copy of Dirt Showdown, which again, stay tuned for videos on that game when I can finally get a copy of it.